students, good morning to all. Welcome to the another episode of our SS class. Okay, we learned about our nation builders. We learned about our nation builders. Okay, then we already learned about the great rulers of India, then the great freedom fighters of India. Then today we are going to learn about great religious leaders and social reformers. We are going to learn about great religious leaders and social reformers. Great religious leaders and social reformers Okay, so all of you listen. Great religious leaders and social reformers. So India has been a land of saints, sages right from ancient times. During ancient times, India has been a land of saints, and sages. Okay, in the world, there are four religions are there. Four great religions are present in the world. They are, or it is originated here. That means the four religions are originated in the world. They are Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism and Sikhism. Which are the four religions originated in the world? First one, Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism and Sikhism. Okay, once again, Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism and Sikhism. Okay, so we are going to learn about some of the great social and religious leaders born in our country. Okay, so first one, Lord Mahavira. First one, Lord Mahavira. Lord Mahavira. Okay, Lord Mahavira. Lord Mahavira is considered as the 24th and the last Tirthankara of Jainism. Who is Lord Mahavira? Lord Mahavira was the 24th and the last Tirthankara of Jainism. Lord Mahavira is considered as the 24th and the last Tirthankara of Jainism. His real name was Vardhamana. His real name was what? Vardhamana. His real name was Vardhamana. Okay, he was the 24th and the last Tirthankara of Jainism. He was the last Tirthankara of Jainism. Tirthankara of Jainism. Plus Vardhamana. His real name was Vardhamana. The real name of Lord Mahavira is Vardhamana. Okay. Then he was born at Kundagrama. He was born at Kundagrama. Okay. He was born at Kundagrama in about 539 BC. Then his father was the chief of his clan. Clan means a group of people. A group of people, we can call it as clan. Then his father was Siddhartha. His father was Siddhartha. Father Siddhartha. Siddhartha. His father was Siddhartha. Okay. Then next one, the Mahavira was deeply influenced by the teachings of the Mahavira was deeply influenced by the teaching of Parshvanath, the 23rd Tirthagara of Jainism. The 23rd Tirthagara of Jainism. He left the luxuries of his home when he was 30 years old and meditated deeply in the forest. What happened to Mahavira? Yes, Mahavira left his luxuries of his home when he was 30 years old and he meditated deeply in the forest. After attaining enlightenment, he gave he teach valuable things to his followers, which are a treasure trove of spirituality for entire mankind. That means, okay, all of you listen. About Lord Mahavira, we have learned about great religious leaders and the social reformers of our country. First one, Lord Mahavira. Lord Mahavira was the 24th and the last Tirthagara of Jainism. His real name was Vardhamana. He was born at Kundalama, and his father was Siddhartha. Then Mahavira deeply influenced by the teachings of Parshvanath. Teachings of Parshvanath. Mahavira deeply influenced the teaching of Parshvanath. Then the 23rd Tirthagara, that is the 23rd Tirthagara of Jainism. Parshvanath, 23rd Tirthagara of Jainism. Then he left the luxuries of his home and he deeply meditated in the forest. Then after attaining enlightenment, he gave valuable teachings to his followers and give the spirituality for entire mankind. Give the spirituality to the entire mankind. Okay, so once again about Lord Mahavira, all of you listen. Lord Mahavira his real name was Vardhamana. His father was Siddhartha. He was the last Tirthagara of Jainism. Then he deeply teaches about Parshvanath, that is the 23rd Tirthagara of Jainism. Then he left his home, his luxurious home in 23 years old. Then he meditated deeply in the forest. After attaining enlightenment, he gave valuable teachings to his followers and also give the spirituality to the mankind, to the entire mankind. Next one, Gautama Buddha. Gautama Buddha. Gautama Buddha. Sorry, Gautama Buddha. Gautama Buddha was a contemporary of Lord Mahavira. Contemporary of Lord Mahavira means the Gautama Buddha was the same characteristics of the present period of Lord Mahavira. So we can say Gautama Buddha was a contemporary of Lord Mahavira. Contemporary of Lord Mahavira. Then he was born as Prince Siddhartha in 566 BCE in the village of Lumbini. Where he was born? Yes, in Lumbini. He was the prince. He was born as Prince Siddhartha. He was born as the Siddhartha. Prince Siddhartha. We know that Siddhartha was the father of Lord Mahavira. That means Lord Mahavira means Vardhamana. His real name was Vardhamana. Father of Vardhamana was Siddhartha. So Gautama Buddha was the prince, prince. Was born as a prince Siddhartha. Then in the village of where Gautama Buddha lived? Yes, in the village of Lumbini. In Lumbini. Then a few miles away from Kapilavastu. Lumbini is situated a few miles away from Kapilavastu. Kapilavastu means in Nepal. Is situated in Nepal. Okay. So once again about Gautama Buddha. Gautama Buddha was born as Prince Siddhartha in the small village of Lumbini. That Lumbini is situated a few miles away from Kapilavastu. The Kapilavastu in Nepal. Okay. Next one. His father Sudhodana was the king of Sakya clan of Kapilavastu. Who was the father of Gautama Buddha? Sudhodana. Who was the father of Gautama Buddha? He was born as Prince Siddhartha. But his father name was Sudhodana. He was the king of Sakya clan of Sakya clan. Clan is a group of people. Sakya clan, king of Sakya in Kapilavastu. So who is the father of Gautama Buddha? Sudhodana. Sudhodana was the father of Gautama Buddha. He was the king of Kapilavastu. King of the Sakya clan. Sakya clan of Kapilavastu. Okay. So once again about Gautama Buddha. Gautama Buddha was born as Prince Siddhartha. His father was Sudhodana. He was the king of Sakya clan of Kapilavastu. He was born in a small village, Lumbini. Lumbini is situated a few miles away from Kapilavastu in Nepal. Next one. He was deeply interested in contemplation and meditation right from his childhood. He was deeply interested in meditation. From his childhood. Then at the age 29, he left his luxuries of his home to search of then he go out to search truth. Then he got enlightenment while meditating deeply, sitting under a peepal tree in Bodh Gaya. He getting enlightenment after sitting deeply under a peepal tree in Bodh Gaya. Sitting under a peepal tree in Bodh Gaya. After getting enlightenment, he came to be known as the Buddha. Then his teachings laid the foundation of Buddhism. His teachings lead to the foundation of Buddhism. That means Gautama Buddha's teaching lead to the foundation foundation of Buddhism. Okay, once again about Gautama Buddha. Gautama Buddha was born as Gautama Buddha was already the contemporary of Lord Mahavira, and he was born as Prince Siddhartha in a small village Lumbini. Lumbini is situated a few miles away from Kapilavastu in Nepal. Then his father was Suddhodana. He was a king of the Sakya clan of Kapilavastu. Then he left his at the age 29. He left his luxuries of the home, and he deeply interested in meditation, and he while attaining meditation, he sitting under a peepal tree in Bodh Gaya. Then after getting enlightenment, he searched for truth, and also after getting enlightenment he is known as Buddha. Then after getting enlightenment, his teachings lead to the foundation of Buddhism. Okay, so once again about Gautama Buddha was the contemporary of Lord Mahavira. He was born as Prince Siddhartha in a small village Lumbini in Kapilavastu. Lumbini is a few miles away from Kapilavastu in Nepal. Then his father was Suddhodana. He was the king of Sakya clan of Kapilavastu. Then he at the age of 29 he left his luxuries of his home, and he was deeply interested in meditation from his childhood. Then he sitting under a peepal tree in Bodh Gaya. After attaining the enlightenment, he was known as the Buddha. Then his teachings lead to the foundation of Buddhism. Next one, Guru Nanak. We know the Lord Mahavira teaches about, he was the last Tirthankara of Jainism. Gautama Buddha was the founder of Buddhism. He lead to the foundation. After getting enlightenment, his teachings lead to the foundation of Buddhism. Next one, Guru Nanak. We know Guru Nanak is the founder of Sikhism. He was the founder of Sikhism. We know in the world there are 4 religions are originated. So first one, Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism and Sikhism. We know the Lord in the period of Lord Mahavira, Jainism is there. Then in Gautama Buddha lead to the foundation of Buddhism. Guru Nanak was the founder of Sikhism, and he was the first of the Sikh Guru and the first of the Sikh Gurus. He was born in Nandana Sahib near Lahore in about 1469. Nandana Sahib. Okay, near Lahore. He was born in Nandana Sahib near Lahore. Was born where? Nandana Sahib near Lahore, modern Pakistan. Okay, near Lahore, modern day Pakistan. Okay, Lahore. Then once again, Guru Nanak was the founder of Sikhism, and he was the first Sikh Guru. Then he was born in Nandana Sahib near near Lahore, modern day it is Pakistan. Then he taught universal brotherhood to his disciplines. Then he taught his followers to concentrate on spiritual practices which would enable them to transform their egoism into selflessness. Selflessness, okay? Okay, once again, he taught about what? He taught about brotherhood. He taught about universal brotherhood, and also he taught his followers to concentrate on spiritual practices. To concentrate on spiritual practices to avoid or to transform their egoism into selflessness. To avoid their egoism into selflessness. That means why he taught about universal brotherhood, and he taught about to his followers to concentrate on spiritual practices, because if we concentrate in spiritual practices, or if we learn about universal brotherhood through his disciplines, we can transform our egoism into selflessness. Egoism into selflessness. Okay. So he taught about what? Brotherhood. He taught about universal brotherhood. Universal brotherhood. Universal brotherhood. And also he taught his followers to concentrate spiritual practices. To concentrate spiritual practices. Spiritual practices. To concentrate spiritual practices for what? To avoid their egoism, or to transform their egoism into selflessness. Okay, to avoid or to transform their egoism into what? Into selflessness. Okay, so that's it about Guru Nanak. Okay, all of you listen. Guru Nanak was the founder of Sikhism. He was born in Nangara Sahib near Lahore, and modern day is Pakistan. So he taught about universal brotherhood through his disciplines, and he always taught to his followers to concentrate spiritual practices to avoid or to transform their egoism into selflessness. Okay, next one, Swami Vivekananda. Next one, Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda. Okay. Swami Vivekananda was an Indian spiritual leader, yogi, and patriot. He was an Indian spiritual leader, then, and also a yogi. Then he was also a patriot. Okay, he was born as Narendranath on 12th January 1863 in Kolkata. He was born as Narendranath. On 12th January 1863 in Kolkata. He later became a disciple of Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He later became a disciple of Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Okay. Then who renamed him as Vivekananda? Who renamed him as Vivekananda? Yes, he was born as Narendranath in Kolkata. Then he later became the disciple of whom? Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He renamed him as whom? Vivekananda. Then he had a deep knowledge of the Vedas and Indian spirituality. He had a deep knowledge about Indian spirituality and Vedas. Then in 1893 he went to Chicago as a representative of India at the Parliament of the World Religion. Okay, listen children. So he went to Chicago for what? Yes, he was a representative of India at the Parliament of the World's Religions. Swami Vivekananda went to Chicago as the representative of India at the Parliament of the World's Religion. Next, then he delivered his historical speech that made India's spiritual greatness known to the world. He later founded the Ramakrishna Mission for the service of humanity, which mission he made. He was the founder of which mission? Ramakrishna Mission. Ramakrishna Mission. Through Ramakrishna Mission, the world can understand about the service of humanity. Okay, next one. Swami Vivekananda's memorial was built at Kanyakumari, the place where he died. Kanyakumari was the place where he died. So, in that place, there was a Vivekananda's memorial built. Then it is a majestic reminder of his greatness. Where was the memorial? Vivekananda's memorial was built at Kanyakumari. In that place where he died. Okay, so once again about Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was an Indian spiritual leader and a yogi and also a patriot. Then he was born as Narendranath in Kolkata. Then he later became the disciple of Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who renamed him as Swami Vivekananda. Then he had deep knowledge about Vedas and Indian spirituality. Then he went to Chicago as a representative of India at the Parliament of the World's Religions. He delivered a speech in that occasion about the spiritual greatness, about the historical Indian spiritual greatness to the world, and also he found a mission, that is Ramakrishna Mission, for the service of humanity, and also he died in Kanyakumari. So in that place Swami Vivekananda's memorial was built. Next, Rajaram Mohan Roy. Next one, Rajaram Mohan Roy. Rajaram Mohan Roy. Rajaram Mohan Roy was known as the maker of modern India. He was known as the maker of modern India. Maker of modern India. Who was the maker of modern India? Rajaram Mohan Roy, maker of modern India. Maker of modern India. Then he was a great scholar and an independent thinker. He founded the Brahmo Samaj. He founded Brahmo Samaj. Who was the founder of Brahmo Samaj? Yes, Rajaram Mohan Rai, and also he was the maker of modern India. He was the maker of modern India. Sorry, BRAHMO Brahmo Samaj. Okay. Then Brahma Samaj, for what he made Brahma Samaj for one of the first Indian social religious reform movements. The Brahma Samaj was, who was the founder of Brahma Samaj? Rajaram Mohan Roy. And also Brahma Samaj was the first Indian social religious reform movement. Then it was due to the persistent campaign of the movements of this movement that the cruel custom of sati was declared illegal in 1829 AD by Lord William Bentinck. By Lord William Bentinck. Once again, it was why the Brahmo Samaj was founded by Rajaram Mohan Roy, because it was the first Indian social religious reform movements. It was due to the persistent campaign of the movement of this movement that the cruel custom of sati was declared illegal by Lord William Bentinck. Next we are going to learn about scientists, great scientists. About great scientists, you should study about Rajaram Mohan Roy, who was the maker of modern India, Rajaram Mohan Roy, and also he was the founder of Brahma Samaj. Brahma Samaj was the first Indian social religious movement. Social religious movement. Okay, next one about scientists, great scientists. Next, great scientists. First one, ancient scientists. First we are going to learn about ancient scientists. Ancient scientist. Ancient scientist was the Aryabhatta, then Brahmagupta, Bhaskaracharya, then Varahamihira, then Madhavacharya, etc. They are the ancient scientists. Then first one, Aryabhatta. Aryabhatta was a great mathematician. Aryabhatta was a great mathematician and also an astronomer of ancient India. He calculated the value of mathematical symbol pi. Mathematical symbol pi. Who calculated the mathematical value of mathematical symbol pi? That means pi. Okay. Yes, Aryabhatta. Aryabhatta was a mathematician and also he was an astronomer of ancient India. He was an astronomer of ancient India. He calculated the value of mathematical value of the symbol pi and the circumference of the earth almost accurately. He also was the first person to say that the earth was round in shape. Who was the first person to say that the earth was round in shape? Yes, Aryabhatta. Then other notable mathematicians and astronomers of ancient India were Brahmagupta, Bhaskaracharya, Varahamihira, Madhavacharya, etc. Next, ancient medicine. Ancient medicine. About ancient medicines. Ancient Indians were advanced in medical science also. Ancient Indians were advanced in medical science also. The great physician of the time, Sage Shushrut. Sage Shushrut was the first to carry out different surgeries that included plastic surgery and cataract surgery during ancient time. Who was the first person to carry out different surgeries, included plastic surgery and cataract surgery? Yes, the sage, the great physician, Sage Shushrut. Okay, then Charak was another great physician from ancient India. His work on Ayurveda, then in the form of a book called Charaka Samhita. Charaka Samhita. Aryabhatta. Then next one about ancient medicines. Ancient medicines. We know during ancient time itself, our Indians follow different surgeries. Like so, the first person to carry out different surgeries, including plastic surgery and cataract surgery, was the sage Sushruta. Okay, and also the Charak. Charak was the physician, great physician of ancient India. He works on which medicine? Yes, Ayurveda. He write about laws on in the form of a book called Charaka Samhita. Charaka Samhita. Okay. Next one, modern scientist. Modern scientist means physician. Physician means a person who practice medicines to treat diseases and promote good health. Okay, physician. Modern scientists were C.V. Raman, Dr. Homi Jahangir Baba, Homi J. Baba, then Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, M. Vishwesharaya, Dr. Hargobind Khorana, then Subramayam Chandrasekhar, then Jagadish Chandra Bose and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam are some of the scientists that India has produced in the modern age. And also some of them won a Nobel Prize in their respective field also. So who were the modern scientists? Yes, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, C.V. Raman, Homi J. Baba, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, M. Vishwesharaya, then Dr. Hargobind Khorana, then Subramayam Chandrasekhar, Jagadish Chandra Bose and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam were the modern scientists. Who were the ancient scientists? Aryabhatta, then Chandragupta, Aryabhatta, then Bhaskaracharya, Brahmagupta, then Varahamihira, then Madhavacharya. Who were the medicines or physicians? So the sage Sushrut, then next Charaka. Then Charaka wrote all his valuable teachings on a book that is called Charaka Samhita. Okay, children, our lesson is over. So all of you learn your textbook, read your textbook more and more times. Okay, so all of you read your notes very well and properly in your notebook. Okay, children, thank you.